Today I'm building a tube comp style winch bar for the GU. I'm just cleaning up all the stuff that is going to get welded. So this is just the piece that goes up underneath. It's a bit of a radiator guard slash brace that goes under there. It's 6mm plate, and I've just finished cleaning up the winch cradle. This thing goes on the bottom of it, so I just finished cleaning this up. I'll clean up the corner gussets, and then we can mount it up and make sure it's in the right spot, and then we can tack on these bits and pieces, pull the bar back off, and then fully weld them out. After deliberation with this thing for the last half an hour or so, it's not quite square on there, and it's probably because when the laser cutters bent the frame up, that's probably like a degree or two out, which is enough to pull it out of square. So I've made the decision that it's probably best that I pull it off the chassis and get it on the bench, because the other laser cut parts that are on it I know are absolutely square, so I'll use them as a guide to make my framing square and whatever, and then I'll put it back on the vehicle and we'll get all the tube work done. So the plan was to go into town and buy some fresh new bolts and to buy a tap to clean out the holes because they're a bit crudted up and they take a bit to put in, and turns out that I've already got a new tap for it, so I wasted like a bunch of money on a new one, typical of what I do. But now I've got a spare, I guess. So what I've got here are some sketch drawings that from Fusion 360 of some of the tube work. So there's a lot of jargon on there at the moment, but I understand it. I only just put it on there so that I could use those measurements to put into a software called BendTech. Now these are the bend instructions from BendTech. From the information I took from Fusion 360, I've put it into BendTech, and I've got my top tube and my bottom tube on the wings that I can use these to get my bend instructions to bend and put onto here. I've got to complete a 61.94 degree bend, let's just call it 62, and I have to do a 64.3 degree bend in the bender for the spring back. A second, because I buggered that up twice. When I put this cutting wrapper on, I put it on that side instead of this side. So I've got another piece of steel out there I can dedicate towards scrap metal, but I just bent another one up, and lo and behold, it fits exactly where it's supposed to. So I'm going to bend up the bottom piece now, and then I'll tack them on and see how they fit and look and see how I feel about it, and we'll go from there. Anyway, on to bigger and better things. I am going to mark out where my bend locations are and then chuck it in the bender and bend it up. Hopefully it fits. It's going to fit, and if I can imagine that going through the bender, it's going to go through this way and it's going to rotate left about almost 90 degrees. So I've got to make sure this line is going to be in a position where I can see it. So we should be good. If we're not, we'll figure it out. So start of bend is up here. That goes through the bender first, and then we'll do our first bend, which is we'll bend that to 41.5, and then hopefully get the spring back to about 39.8, and then we'll rotate it in the bender. I think I've done it the right way. No, I didn't, because it's up there. We'll rotate it in the bender like that, and then we'll bend that to, it says 61.74, so we'll go to 61.7, so we get a 59.4 or 5 thereabouts bend. So hopefully we're good. So I got him bent up now. You can see there's a bit of a rotation in it there. So I've just sort of half adjusted it around and it fits bloody exactly where I want it. Just put the coping template on there now, get that cut out, and then I'll get these tacked on, and then we'll see if they're where they're meant to be. So I've got that tacked on there now. It looks pretty bloody good actually. I don't mind the way it sort of looks. It looks a little bit homemade, if you can call it that. It's obviously homemade, but I don't mind the look of it. There's a support bar that I need to put in behind it. That'll do next. Once I've got all that tacked in, I'll half weld it out what I can, and then I'll get done on the other side, do the same there, and then I'll pull the bar off and fully weld it out. Right, so I've got a piece of steel here cut off. It's telling me I need 446 mil, which is this, and now I'll just cut those out. Moment of truth, we'll see if my measurements have been done right. I'll tell you what, that fits about as accurately as I think you can bloody get it. So I'm just about to bend up the main hoop, the middle hoop, and see how it fits up. I've taken some information out of Bentec like I have done with all the other tube, but in this case there's some landing pads that are put on the winch cradle that you would have seen there as corner gussets. So this is where this is going to weld to. They come up on a slight angle. I could have messed around in Bentec to sort of figure out what angle that is, but I'm just going to sit it on there. It's not that extreme of an angle, so I'm just going to put it on there for now, and then I'll chamfer off what I need to take off once it's bent up. I'm about 3-4 days into this project now, and going to race to town now, get another length of steel, and hopefully get this finished today. I've got to get the triple hoops finished, and then pull the bar off, weld it all out, clean up the locator tab where that's going to go, and then mount the bar back on and weld that into place, pull the bar back off, weld that out, and then it's done. I've finished welding it out. I've got all the mounts and everything all put together. Going to finish it off and grind all the parts down that I want nice and flush and flat, and then give it a bit of a lick of paint, and then put the winch in and mount her up, and then she's good to go. I'm pretty keen to get it finished. There you go, I've got it all nice and finished there now. But that's all I've got time for today. I'm only getting better and better at this whole video thing, so if there was stuff in there that I missed out, I do apologise for that, but I will get better at it. There will be more builds to come. If you hit the subscribe button and that bell notification, that'd be great. Thanks.